They say great work requires great results. Good people put that work in with Jutain Fit. Personal instructor, Rob Ski. Certified in nutrition and fitness. Good people. Tell them Blanco sent you. Good people, what's rockin'? You now tuned in. Sonny Blanco, I got a story to tell you, heard? Today part 4, right? But not the men who built Black America. In this edition, we're talking about the women who built Black America, right? Hey yo, good people, you already know it's good work over here, right? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hit that like, share, most importantly, subscribe though, you heard? But yo, listen, you already know what it is, right? You already know what it is. Listen, grab your popcorn, grab your drinks, grab your get right? Cause it's movie time. Enjoy the presentation. Good people, I introduce to you the revolutionary one, the game changer herself, Mrs. Annie TURNBO Malone, born August 9th, 1869 in Metropolis, Illinois, the 10th of 11 children to parents Robert TURNBO and Isabella Cook TURNBO, who were former slaves. Her father Robert fought for the Union during the Civil War in the 1st Kentucky Cavalry. While Robert was fighting, Isabella took the kids and escaped from Kentucky, a neutral border state that maintained slavery. After traveling down the Ohio River, she found her home in Metropolis, Illinois. Annie was born on a farm near Metropolis in Massac County. Due to her mother, Isabella, passing, Annie was orphaned at a young age. She attended public school in Metropolis before moving in 1896 with her older sister, Ada Moody, in Peoria, Illinois. There, Annie attended high school, taking a keen interest in chemistry. However, due to frequent illness, she was forced to withdraw from classes. Now, a younger Annie, while out of school, didn't do like most teenagers and run wild. Nah, Annie. Instead, she grew a fascination with hair and hair care products. At the time, many women used goose fat, heavy oils, soap, or even bacon grease to straighten their hair, causing major damage to both the scalp and the hair. By the beginning of 1902, Annie moved yet again with another one of her older siblings to Lovejoy, Illinois, which is now known as Brooklyn, Illinois. There, she began to experiment. Annie developed and manufactured her own line of non-damaging hair straighteners, special oils, and hair stimulant product for African American women. She named her new product Wonderful Hair Grower. To promote her new product, she got a grind on, going door to door. Annie was hustling. She was out there getting to it, you heard? This right here, this began to revolutionize the hair care methods for all African American women at the time. In 1902, towards the end of 1902, good old Annie, she getting to it, right? She packed it up again and moved to thriving St. Louis, where she and 3 employees sold her hair care products again, door to door. As part of her marketing, she gave away free treatments to attract more customers. Simply genius, right? This is before any social media. Hell, this is before most people had a telephone in their household for that matter. This woman was a marketing phenom. Due to high demand for her product, Annie opened up her first shop at 2223 Market Street. She also launched a wide advertising campaign in black press, held news conferences, toured many southern states, and recruited many women whom she trained to sell her products. I told you she a marketing phenom, right? In 1918, she established Poro College. Side note, Poro is a West African word meaning physical and spiritual growth. Not only smart, not only intelligent, but also conscious and aware. Yo, listen, Annie was the truth. But back to Poro. Poro College, a cosmology school and center. The building including a manufacturing plant, a retail store, business offices, a 500-seat auditorium, dining and meeting hall, a roof garden, dormitories, gymnasium, bakery, and a chapel. It served the African American community as a center for religious and social functions. Seems like Annie's whole plan was self-sufficiency. You dig? She was about her people and uplifting her people. You heard? Not only educating people, but she also put over 200 people to work, boosting the black economy in St. Louis. Annie Malone created jobs for over 75,000 women, not just in America, but international. Hey, yo, international Annie. International Annie was getting to it, right? Creating jobs in North and South America, as well as Africa, the Philippines, Nova Scotia, and more. One of these women being Sarah Breedlove. We'll get into her story in just a minute. Annie was known for her philanthropy, donating to schools, organizations, churches, orphan homes, and more. And contrary to popular belief, Annie TURNBO Malone was the first self-made black female millionaire in America. The originator, Annie Malone. Salute. Now, if Annie was the originator, this next young lady is the prestige duplicator. Good people, I introduce you to Sarah Breedlove, born December 23rd, 1867 in Delta 5th Military District, Louisiana. Now, she was born Sarah, but the world knows as Madam C.J. Walker. Her parents were Owen and Minerva Breedlove. She had 5 siblings, 1 sister, 4 brothers, all born into slavery. Sarah was the first in the family born free. Now, Mrs. Breedlove died in 1872. Her father remarried but died the year later. Sarah was an orphan at the age of 7. At the age of 10, she reunited with her older sister, Lovina, and her new brother-in-law, Jesse Powell, and moves to Vicksburg, Mississippi. As her own recount, she only had 3 months of formal education, which she learned during Sunday school literacy lessons at the church she attended during her childhood years. She started working at the age of 10 as a domestic servant, quoted as saying, "I had little or no opportunity when I started out in life, having been left an orphan and been without a mother or a father since I was 7 years old." End of quote. Now, good people, this is where it gets tricky. But again, you have to remember the era and the time frame. This type of thing was the norm, due to the fact that life expectancy was much shorter than it is in today's times. But at the age of 14 in 1882, she married Moses McWilliams, whose age is unknown, but much likely an older man. She married Moses to escape the abuse of her punk-ass brother-in-law, Jesse. Sarah and Moses had 1 daughter, Lelia McWilliams. Moses died in 1897, further proving my theory that he was an older man. At his time of death, Sarah was only 22 and her daughter was 2 years old. Now, I don't want to put a stain on young Sarah's name. I really don't. But 7 years later, which really isn't a bad time at all, but 7 years later, in 1894, she remarried. But here's where it gets a little tricky. She left him for a guy named John Davis in 1903. But in 1906, she marries again, but not to John. A guy by the name of Joseph Walker, a newspaper advertising salesman from St. Louis. This union is when the young lady left Sarah Breedlove behind and acquired the moniker Madam C.J. Walker. Okay, now let's back up a little bit, right? In 1888, still Sarah and her daughter moved to St. Louis, where 3 out of her 4 brothers lived. She quickly found work as a laundress, barely earning $1 a day. But Sarah stacked her coins, right? She was determined to make enough money to give her young daughter something she never had, a formal education. During the 1800s, St. Louis was popping with artistic and vibrant people. The very community she lived in, ragtime music was created. Sarah sang at the St. Paul African Methodist Episcopal Church. There, she started to yearn for an educated life as she watched the community of women in her church. Sarah herself suffered from severe dandruff and other scalp ailments, including baldness due to skin disorders and the application of harsh products to cleanse hair and wash clothes. Initially, Sarah learned about hair care from her brothers who were barbers in St. Louis. Now let's back up. Let's back up to Annie. The whole reason for Annie moving to St. Louis was the St. Louis State Fair, which at the time was promotion like no other. You see, again, this is before social media, before most people had a phone in their home for that matter, and word-of-mouth publicity was the best publicity. At the State Fair is where young Sarah meets Annie. Now let's call it what it really is, right? Let's call it what it was, right? Sarah started jacking Annie hard body, right? To the point she stole her whole style. Now back home in a makeshift lab, she starts to develop her own hair care products, with the final touches on a new product in 1905, July. A 37-year-old Sarah and her daughter moved to Denver, Colorado, where she continued to sell Poro products, but also developing her own thing on the side. Then Sarah got on the hustle, right? She switched to pack up. Same tops, different work, you heard? Same color tops, but different work. Yo, then on top of that, she got extra bold. She bought the new tops with the new work, right? Pretty soon, wherever Sarah went. Now mind you, by this time, she's Madam C.J. Walker. So wherever C.J. Walker went, Poro products got low. And Madam C.J. Walker was the new work on the block. Madam C.J. Walker would go on to do just like her mentor, employing a great number of black women and men for that matter, becoming a great philanthropist and making her undeniable mark on history. But contrary to popular belief, she wasn't the first black millionaire. Where this comes from, I have no idea. The first black millionaire in America was Jeremiah Hamilton. Check that story out. It's also in this playlist, the Black History playlist, right? And the first black female millionaire was her mentor, Annie, who was already popping by the time C.J. Walker met her. But nonetheless, she was a millionaire nonetheless, at a time when it was hard for most people, black or white, to get to the bag. Good old C.J., by any means necessary, Ma got to her bag, you heard? Making it generational wealth, creating a legacy. Salute to Sarah. Salute to Madam C.J. Walker.